Imagine you're on the Headwall Express at Palisades, Tahoe. You reach the top, look ahead, and...
Great Scott!
Precisely. Someone's about to send Great Scott, and you have front row tickets. What is there to even ski, you think to yourself? Well, enough for some people.
How much vertical air can you catch in a good day?
I say you can probably log at least 10 minutes a day of just pure fall time. A good 10 minutes, easy.
As you process what you've just witnessed, a familiar marking creeps into your eyes. It's at this point when it hits you that double blacks are practically beginner runs compared to what a mountain might offer. If a trail is labeled on the map, that almost disqualifies it from being a true expert run, because it's a lot safer for the real ones to be hard to find. Let me give you an example. If you look at the map of Kirkwood, you'll see 3 double black runs off Lift 10. However, hike a little bit skiers left, and you'll find yourself at the top of Hart Chute. You have no clue what's on the other side of this unsuspecting funnel, but there's really only one way to find out. You probably should have just looked it up on YouTube, because you're now in a steep chute leading toward a 20-foot cliff with one way forward. Conditions vary based on snowpack, but generally speaking, you should never attempt Hart Chute without good health insurance. You might be able to see why this isn't marked on the map, but it's not even the craziest skiable feature at Kirkwood. That would be hospital air.
Yeah!
Woo! Jokes aside, there is one line I believe is more insane than Hart Chute. It's the Y-spine, a thin ridge that requires 2 consecutive double drops, where any mistake could end in disaster. It's the most terrifying looking run I've ever skied up to, and it's the reason I'm making this video. I wanted to find the hardest resort accessible ski line in North America.
You're gonna laugh when you see this.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh shit.
Sixth grade dropping.
Look alive, bud. What's that?
There's a couple really big birds behind you.
Oh, that's nice. I don't give 2 shits, sorry.
Come on, those runs are insane. Why not just ski a nice easy blue square? Here's a fun fact. This is statistically the most dangerous part of the mountain. People are idiots. You know who else are idiots? People who make videos ranking the most dangerous ski runs. Rambo? Are you kidding me? It's steep, I get it, but there's several runs, not just in North America, but at Crested Butte that are more difficult. Palisades has so much terrain that's more difficult, I could literally spend the rest of the video talking about it. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. All thanks to Reddit user Yalavender, who posted a PDF to the only book that can truly answer my question. This book, quite literally, is what the doctor ordered. If you like to push your limits, Dr. Gaffney has the prescription, and Squaw is the cure. Squallywood by Rob Gaffney is the ultimate guide for those daring enough to tackle the most extreme terrain in Squaw Valley, now known as Palisades, Tahoe. Honestly, without a book like this, it's nearly impossible to pinpoint the most difficult ski run in North America. While other mountains might have their own challenges, Squallywood's 270 pages offer detailed descriptions of every crazy line on a mountain notorious for them. The grading system ranks runs across 4 main criteria: difficulty, hero factor, fun factor, and pitch. Difficulty is rated on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being defined as a difficult black diamond. This is what a 3 looks like. Higher up, Simmons Drop is a 60 to 70 foot cliff that got its name when professional football player Norm Simmons first sent it. It's graded as an 8 in difficulty, with the only issue being that Norm Simmons does not exist. I'm sure someone with a similar name does, but whoever that may be pioneered an exceptional crowd pleaser. This is where the hero factor comes in. How exposed is the run? How many people will be watching, cheering, heckling, or all of the above? The spectacle of becoming the center of attention is incredibly fun, but then reality hits.
Do it! This will be one of the gnarlier hucks I've seen.
This is when the fun factor comes in. How likely are you to come back for more? Probably not very likely if it requires a massive impact, but maybe if it's steep enough. Pitch measures the angle of a slope at its most extreme point. There's only one line in this book that earns a difficulty rating of 10, and to conquer it, you must straight line a 60-degree pitch with several mandatory airs. For comparison, Rambo is a 55-degree leg burner. It kind of goes without saying that many of these lines should never be attempted without a good storm, or several. It's often the case that something will be a 9 in the early season, then its rating will drop as it gets more filled in. The center route off Eagle's Nest, supposedly the most difficult line on the mountain if straight lined, falls down to an 8 when taken slower in deep predictable snow. Many runs on the mountain should only be attempted in great snow conditions, and for some of them, years pass without the window ever opening. The cellar stairs become skiable around once every 5 years, and the first riders tend to leave a gift for the next ones, in the form of a snow lip. Robert Frost fills up once a decade at most, and has only been attempted a single time. Boulder Balls is a particularly interesting case because you need a lot of thick snow for it to be skiable. The one who pioneered this line found that when the powder is too light, the impact of the first 20-foot drop will have you feeling granite. You might not be surprised to learn that the fun factor is quite low, especially if you're the next person in line, realizing that your buddy just used up all the snow. It's alright, you could always do Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Doesn't that seem fun? The only issue is that the chocolate chips disappear when the snow levels are too high. As delicious as that sounds, when translated out of ski slang, that's basically saying the only way to access this massive drop is by jumping over exposed rocks, so don't mess up because the landing is half as steep as the entrance. If that sounds crazy, it's nothing in comparison to what Pete Bowers did on May 2nd, 1995. Nobody else has dared attempt this line since, and it might stay that way forever. I could almost end the video here, but Rob Gaffney specifically called, for Pete's sake, one of the most difficult lines, not the most difficult. That just puts the mountain into perspective, and a lot of that perspective lies within the eyes of a select few. Only about half the runs rated 9 or higher have videos of people doing them. Blanca Ball and Whatever Trevor are two of the most insane ones you'll find anywhere, but as far as I know, Jimmy Trevor is the only one who's ever skied them, and there's one crucial reason why. The hero factor. Why do something nobody can watch? That's part of the fun. It's one of the reasons people gravitate to the fingers.
I got here at 3:30 in the morning. And I'm second chair.
In terms of being a hero, you're basically Superman if you ski the fingers. Everyone on the KT-22 chair and in the lift line can see you, but not all these lines are created equal. If you really want to amaze the crowds, then main air is where you want to go, and boy do people want to go. To get first tracks, you need to be on the first chair, and unfortunately for you, every chair has 4 people, some of whom might be faster skiers. Rob Gaffney describes the takeoff point as the first area you can reach, because everyone is racing there. However, if you don't win, there's always the middle knuckle. It looks just as impressive, but it's easily the hardest route into the real crowd pleaser, a 25-foot drop. You get all the extra difficulty without the additional praise, and that's fine, because you're a hero. You might be invincible, but you're not entirely sure. You decide it's finally time to shake the nest and climb up McConkey's. You've just entered the most difficult zone of Palisades Tahoe.
I get to go ski that over there. It's pretty good.
It's very rare to find terrain of this caliber as a marked run, but if you had to name it after anybody, it would be Shane McConkey.
Pretty much it's always a dumb idea to try and do something that Shane can do.
Forget skiing, he has done some of the craziest stuff anybody has ever done. Unfortunately, he lived the same way he died, and is now forever linked to the craziest slab of rock in any North American ski resort, Eagle's Nest. Succeed on your descent, and you will impress crowds far and wide. Fall, and you might end up like Rob's brother Scott.
The problem is I'm not in the air here above the deep spine. I'm in the air here above a rock that I'm about to uncover. I was hoping to feel the sensation of free falling to the powder below, but I wasn't so lucky. I'm blown away by the force of the impact, but my immediate concern is to avoid the trees below, but I have zero control.
I'm okay!
But I know I'm not truly okay. My arm hurts a little bit, my back is on fire, and I'm really struggling to inhale. And that was the end of my season.
According to Rob Gaffney, the most challenging run at Palisades Tahoe is found on Eagle's Nest, specifically the high line. It's a 68.5 degree pitch with 2 mandatory airs, and in Gaffney's words, requires one to be 100% on it the whole way down to have a successful run. Directly adjacent is the Freebird route, also marked as a 9+, which is basically a 50-foot drop that's only possible in the highest of snow levels. Just make sure you don't mess up, because the trees will not move if you strike them. Rob Gaffney did a lot of things, but he never struck the trees. He did, however, give a bold warning to anybody daring enough to use the knowledge from his book. Those who embark on descending any of these routes must be aware of the risks of doing so. The ultimate risk, of course, being death. Rob Gaffney passed away in 2023, and the mountain's not what took him, it was cancer. He was only 52, but in those years he lived 100 lifetimes. It takes a tremendous level of dedication to pass on this knowledge in such detail, and a tremendous amount of skill to not die in the process. He was one of the very few people on Earth capable of pointing you to the most difficult line at Palisades Tahoe. Rob Gaffney didn't just document these runs, he lived them.
Rob skied 80 or more days for the next few years, and at the end of a 100-day season in 1999, he was suddenly a doctor, leaving those of us who watched the same 4 years pass wondering, what have we done during that time?